Hi, I'm Cindy Harrison and welcome to Paint with Heart Studios in the Zoom room today. I'm a decorative painter. I've been decorative painting for over 20 years, almost 25 years now. I teach throughout the United States. I've gone to several conventions. So I kind of, am very good at what I do, and I can help you find your inner Van Gogh. And that's why I'm here doing these live complimentary art lessons every week, broadcast from now until June. It will be on Sundays at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. So if you don't catch us live, which I hope you do someday, because I really think that it is marrying the social aspect that we as painters enjoy, I think, a lot more than we want to admit. We enjoy the social aspect of painting. And if not, and you're watching the replay, thank you for joining us in the replay. Today, before we get started, I would also like to thank my co-host, Melissa Reyes, for helping me in the Zoom room and inspiring me to be the best painter I can be and the best teacher I can be. So here is Melissa Reyes.
Hi, everybody. So yes, I'm Melissa Reyes. I go by Ms. Meliz on social media. You can find me at msmeliz.com. I'm an artist. I draw mandalas. I do coloring and different media. And I like to do videos and meet people around the world and interview them online. So that's how I met Cindy. And I have to say that I'm not the kind of artist Cindy is. In fact, today will be my first ever still life on canvas, and I'm excited just having base coated my paint, my canvas, because to me that's still really a new thing, and I love learning and doing new things. So when we show our stuff later, don't feel like seriously, you're all way more experienced than me, and so we're all in this together. It's about having fun, and I'm inspired by Cindy because she has this goal to teach everybody how to paint, and if anybody can do it, she can. So with that, I'll say thank you for being here, and let's get going. I'm excited.
Ooh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, right now you're seeing me. I'm going to turn it to my other camera, which is got a top view down, and you'll see what I'm painting. Oh, and I know, just like magic. Okay. Now you can see that this is very white, and so therefore it's hard to see my lines in there, but they are there. What I did is I went in and I erased the line that went through the bowl and the apple, because we don't need the line there. I lightened up the line at the top of the table, but I did eliminate the line at the bottom of the table that went through. So get that out there. Now, if you don't have all the colors I called for, you can go ahead and substitute. And I don't know, what room you're hanging this in, so you'd want the colors that might go along with your room instead of, I'm going to go with some neutral colors here.
I just want to say, for anybody who's watching the replay, you can go cindyharrisonart.com and get the printout PDF of the drawing so that you could transfer that to your canvas. Thank you.
So I'm going to start, let's go in and put in our tabletop. And I'm going to start with antique white is what I'm going to use. If you have a khaki tan, if you have anything like that will work. I'm going to go down to, I'm saying a lot lately too, sorry about that. Let's choose a 14 or a 12 flat. When choosing a brush, you want to make sure that it fits that area, but not too big and certainly not too little. Waking up my brush, getting the water out. Remember, get the water out. You don't want to have to be working at a lot of coats of paint because you have water in your brush. Now, can you tape this off top and bottom? Sure, but I don't. So I'm just gonna go and put in, it might look like I need to put 2 coats of this paint. I'm only going to do the front edge of this table right now. I know that some people had mentioned in Facebook that they would, you know, what to base coat. And if you were going to a class, you probably would have homework and you would have to base coat this in, you know, before class. But because not knowing my audience and who has time and who doesn't to base coat, I figured let's all just go with the same pace together. I mean, yes, some are faster painters than others, but at least if we all start with a blank canvas, we'll be pretty good. And for those who didn't know, I base coated this in light buttermilk. So that's what this is first, is light buttermilk. So I go in, a refresher on base coating. When you start in, I don't know how close I can get to this. There's my line. I'm going to go inside the line and work my way towards the line. Work my way towards the line and smooth out my ridges. I don't start right on my line just in case I have too much paint on my brush. And then I would create a line, and how would I get rid of it? So I'm going to go up to my line this way. I can pull down, or I can go that way. Remember, when you get to that tape, you've got to pull towards you or go with it. Don't go into it because you could bleed paint underneath. Okay. By the time you're done this, that might be dry. If not, hit it with a blow dryer. And do it again. Put a second coat on there. Put that with the blow dryer. Second coat goes on a lot faster. But if you don't have a blow dryer handy, what we can do at this time is go up to the apples and we can base coat the apples in with either moon yellow or cad yellow. So you pick how bright you want your apples to be. If you have a filbert brush, and that would be one that has a rounded head, we can base coat in with the filbert. Probably I would use a bigger one. Wake up that brush. So while my tabletop is drying, I'm going to go in and I'm going to base coat in. I'm going to try and just follow the shape of each one individually so that I don't have to retrace those lines. We're going to have to put the paint right up to those lines. If you have dark lines, you might want to go and lighten them with an eraser. Because if you don't cover them with paint, they will, darker paint, they will show through. And I'm going to do one with the bright yellow in the front, just so you'll see the difference between the two. If you go over the outline, depending on how badly you went over it, you can always wipe it off with a clean, if you have a clean brush, you can go in and wipe it off. And you also can use a Q-tip. Color. I'm using moon yellow, but you can also use cadmium yellow. But that's a much brighter color, but you can use either one of those or a yellow that you have. I like the filbert brush because the rounded tip, so I can come right around the apple.
I loved that I know how to erase something so much because I made my table go all the way across.
I did too. I did too.
With paint?
Oh, no.
Yeah. But it's okay now because you taught me how to do that. So I took it off with some wet.
Spit?
No, I used a wet paintbrush.
There you go. Wet paintbrush. It's like I can't see you, but I see your picture. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah, I'm eating lunch.
Okay. We appreciate that.
Plus, you really don't want to see this mess. I was so happy with it. I should have just left it as a paint, buttermilk paint. It's okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
You have another camera, so you can actually, don't you have another camera? You can image it down?
If I wanted to.
No, we wouldn't see you eating.
I'll show you. Well, no. Well, okay, fine. Do you want to see what I'm doing? No, I'm just watching the apples. It looks so beautiful.
I always want to see what you're doing.
You're making a mess, see?
And this is, I'll show everybody, this is what I mean by spotlight.
No.
Look at you. There you go. You'll just put your linen over top of it.
Exactly. I just have to erase a little bit more.
Yep. Just use a wet brush. You got it. Okay. I'm gonna take out, like I said, I'm gonna do one with the cad yellow, just so that we can, it's like I'm almost wondering if I should make it this one in front. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll make these dark back here and make the bright one in front. So it's apple season up in New Hampshire. And when my children were younger, we would always go apple picking. That would be our activity. My daughter, my oldest daughter now is a Montessori school teacher. So that's what she does with her kids. And they go apple picking this time of year. One coat should be sufficient. It might be splotchy, but it is totally fine to be splotchy. I'm going to make this one bright yellow, the cad yellow. And I did put a stem on it. I really didn't have to, but I did when I drew it on there. But I'm going to paint right over it, and then I'll go back and add it after. Now you might ask, why are we painting these yellow?
Why are we painting these yellow, Cindy?
Thank you for asking, Melissa. I was waiting for someone to ask that. Yes, I am painting all the apples, Pam. But these ones are moon yellow and that one is cad yellow, just so you see the difference. So whatever yellow you're using, you can do them all the same, or you can do like I did and make one brighter. Because when you highlight something, say you painted something black, you would probably highlight it in white, and obviously you can't shade it because it is black. Say this, you're going to highlight this with a lighter color, and you would take this color, if you had no other color, if you owned no other bottle of paint, and you had this bottle of paint, all you have to do is add white to it, and it would make it a lighter color. You could add black to it or burnt umber and make it a darker color. With red, if you add white to red, what do you get?
Pink.
And how many pink apples do you see in the world?
Well, not too many.
So when you think the apple's highlight is really got a yellow tinge to it. I don't know if you can see here, but that area is more.
Oh, yeah, look at that, everybody.
So, and then this, see that?
Right.
So nature's already giving you a palette right here. All the colors are right here. You just have to match your bottle of paint up to them. And that's how easy that is.
Okay.
I am going to do something with this. Let's go, as long as I'm not losing anybody. I'm going to pick up some burnt umber. And take two ways of doing wood grain for the sake of this project. If you take your liner brush, and this might be like a #1 liner, and I'm going to pull out, you can see my palette. Now pull out some burnt umber. Make sure there's no water on the ferrule. And I'm going to kind of wiggle some lines. So pressure, lift, pressure, pressure, lift, pressure, and twist here. I'm twisting this way. So I'm pressure, lift, and twist. See that? So that's one way. Another way is to take your brush, make sure all the water's out, and you put paint on one corner of the brush. See, it's over on this corner here. Hard to see, but it's on one corner. Work it out a little bit more on my palette. And I'm going to pretend I'm doing like a knot. See that?
My table's from IKEA, so it doesn't have any wood grain.
You're funny.
Now I can put a fake wood grain in.
You can do whatever you want. I'm going to stick to the lines, like the lines. Okay. Let's take that burnt umber and mix a little bit. If you have a palette knife or a plastic utensil, take a drop of the antique white and a drop of burnt umber, mix them together. We're going to make a little darker antique white or a little lighter burnt umber, whichever way you want to go. And I want to use that. I might have to take my fatter round brush. Probably this is a number 4. And I'm going to base coat in underneath my linen. And if it doesn't show up against the antique white here, go ahead and add a little bit more burnt umber. This is establishing a shading right off the bat, so we don't have to wash color over it too much. We're going to put some more, but for right now, I'm going to go up in there anyway. Let's see. And if it's a little blotchy, it's okay for right now. If your apples are dry, when you're done doing that and your apples are dry, go and erase whatever graphite lines are not painted on. Go ahead and erase my stem. Okay.
I just freehand drew my apples on. You want to see?
Sure.
Fast. So I traced it first, and then I drew them on. How's it look? I'm pretty excited.
That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, you make it look so easy, and your picture is really easy to copy. So if you don't have the graphite paper and all the, you know, what do you call that stick thing with a little ball at the end?
The stylus?
Yeah, you can still do it. So,
I tried to make it because I know when Melissa and I were talking about it and we were putting our thoughts together, we had put a knife, we had put wedges of apples, we had put a pie, a baked
Oh yeah, a whole pie.
a whole pie. I mean, we had so many elements to this, and I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. We only want to be here 2 hours. So, so I eliminated a lot of things.
So so yeah, it's not going to be as exactly like the picture, but it's really close. And of course, I am not about exact things, so
No, you are not.
that's okay.
You are okay. You are fine.
It's okay. I'm okay. All right. So I had to catch up with you now on the yellow on the apples, but so far it's looking really great, Cindy.
Thank you. I'll give everyone a few more seconds to catch up, and I'm going to blow dry mine anyway. And anyone who looks at an apple, it is not a perfect circle. You know, like it's not a perfect circle. You see how it's flat here and flat here, but it's more rounded on the sides. So yeah, you don't have to make a perfect circle. That's not the way apples are. I had a teacher in one of my convention classes, and she said that whenever she goes to design a project, she puts inspiration in front of her. So if you're going to paint a rose, buy yourself a rose or a bouquet of roses and put it in a vase in front of you. If you're going to paint lilacs, if you're going to paint a bowl of fruit, go get a bowl and put fruit in it that you're going to be painting. And so this is your inspiration. You surround yourself with those items, and it helps you to capture those items on the canvas. Okay, so next color. Pick one apple. And cadmium orange is going to be our next color. We're going to do a wash of this color over our yellow. And when I say a wash, we're going to take a brush that has a lot of water in it. I don't know if you can see that shine. There's a lot of water in here. And I'm going to put it in there and see how that's way too much water, because I have hardly any pigment on my palette right now. So I'm going to then take that water out, use the water that's there, and add some more pigment to it. Now take the water out again and come over to my apple, and you can do all of them or you can just do one of them right now. But I'm going to add a wash of this color. If I still have too much water, you go and take out some more water. Now see, this one doesn't have a lot of pigment, so I need to make sure I pick up more pigment. Make sure I get the water out of my brush. And then, because my lines show through, I can actually like go over the whole thing. My line shows through the yellow. go ahead and tap that out and do that same over here.
Going back a few steps, Cindy, when you did the apples on the top in yellow, was it just one coat of yellow?
Yes.
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Which step?
I got off to try to get my camera working, and I don't know how to do it. So,
Okay.
Just the red.
So what I did was, after the yellow's dry, you pick up water in your brush and you come over to the orange. I'm using Cad Orange.
Okay.
And I diluted it with the water. As you see here, it's very inky, but that's too inky, which means there's not a lot of pigment. So I wipe out the brush and get rid of all the water, come back in and use the water that I left here and bring in more pigment.
Okay.
Make sure you tap that on the paper towel, and then you go over and you wash all your apples with the Cad Orange.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to go in and take a side load. We all remember how to do a side load? I hope. And then I'm going to add a little shading against the linen. And I'm going to add shading underneath. Those humps in the linen. Let's blow dry our apples. I'm going to take, there it is. My 3/4 inch wash brush. And some country red. Now, if you have Cad red, you can use that as well. And this time, instead of doing a wash, I'm actually going to do a side load. And remember I said, I talked about this in one of the previous episodes, that when you do a side load, you have a little bit of water in your brush, you tap it on both sides of your paper towel, and you pick up the paint on one corner. We're going to blend it out here. Now, if you see how much water I have here, that's too much. When you start seeing that, you've got too much water there. So I'm going to tap it on my paper towel and come back in. And you can go one way and you can go the other way, but you want to work it out so that you have a nice gradation of color from dark to medium to light. Now I'm going to do what I call a C stroke. C stroke is you start on the chisel. This is the chisel. Okay, I'll just do it. Chisel. And you go like this. Now you don't move your brush like a rainbow, like that. You start on a chisel, you end on a chisel, but in the middle, it's going to get fat. So start on the chisel, end on a chisel. Put it down at 12 o'clock. Come around the thickness of the apple there, and you bring it back up, and you end at 6 o'clock. Everyone with me? Start at 12 o'clock. Go to the edge of the apple. I walk it out a little bit and then come back to 6 o'clock. I'll do it again. Start on 12 o'clock. Go to the edge of the apple and come back to what would be 6 o'clock. $12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We don't see the bottoms of these, so we can't paint them. When I walk it in, I do one swipe against the edge and then I come back in a little bit closer to the center. And always go down to the line of the next apple. When you have ones that are behind, just go ahead and follow, start at the chisel at the 12 o'clock and come around the apple that's in front. Come around, start at 12, come around the apple that's in front. I'm going to dry that and then go down the other side same way. I turn it upside down because I like drawing the C the way it naturally is formed.
That looks so nice so far. Terrific. I looked up and there are apples there.
I have apples here. If you create a line, go back over with some more paint to kind of diffuse that makeup line. So we all know about makeup lines, right? Where people who wear foundation, sometimes, I'm going to change the angle of this camera for a second so I can show you. So when people wear foundation on their face, you can tell sometimes because there's a line at their jaw. And you look at them and you point like this and they know exactly what you mean, because there's a difference between the color of this skin and the color of that skin. So there's this makeup line. If you create one of those with paint, what you need to go back and touch that area. Now you can do it many ways. You can do it with a Q-tip, clean brush, or you can do it with a mop brush. But whatever you do, you've got to soften the line between where the color is and the color isn't. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Because this is underneath the table while you're all working on that, I'm going to just take my brush and some burnt umber. And it's kind of watered down, and I'm going to wash under my table. With some burnt umber. And if you take the water out, you won't get the brush strokes. Okay. So all I'm doing is reinforcing my red side loads with more red right now. And I'm still doing the C stroke. So you can see I'm thicker on the edges here and thin on the top and bottom. And that's okay. I reinforce just the left side for right now. I'm hesitant to, I'll reinforce the right side of this one. Okay. Let's blow dry that. Now I'm going to do that red on the bottom of this one out front. And I'll hit the bottom of the ones in the bowl.
Jan.
Is that you, Jan? Yeah.
Oh. So that didn't work.
I'm assuming she's wireless internet.
No. If it said start video and she started the video and it said like allow access and she clicked on it.
I just shaded again with a second, reinforce the red, the country red or cad red, whatever you're using.
Okay, thank you.
And I did, and also I did a side load at the bottom here and the bottom of each one going across. So you're right, we got 2 Jans in the house. Woohoo! Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna mute you, honey.
Okay.
Mute audio. There you go. Okie dokie. We are cooking with gas. Okay. Now, I've seen dimples made in apples in 2 different ways. So I'm going to go with, I'll show you the 2 different ways, I guess. One is if this is where the stem comes out, okay. One way is to take your dark value, chisel in, I'm on paper so I run out of paint real fast, chisel in both ways, okay? Another way is to, helps if I have paper towel. Take and do the dark color, again side loaded, but bring it in here and go, so this is chisel under. This one is going to be chisel in. You see how that creates a look? So you can have yours dark. Now my apple is light on the inside. So I might go, if you hold it like this, you see how you've got red, dark, red that way, and then you have the green dimple in there. So you can go in and put your yellow back up here. You can do a little C stroke up here of yellow. Make sense? Bring it up almost to the top of that, the humps. So figure out where you're putting your dimples. You can use a smaller brush if you want. And if I want my dimple up here, I'm going to chisel this in and bring it back out. You see that? I can do this over here. I'm going to go with the lighter, the moon yellow on these ones. Go in, bring it back out, wipe it off with the clean edge of my brush. Soften that makeup line by using the watered edge of my brush. See it? I hope. So look at your pattern, add dimples where you want them. There's at least 3 that don't have them. So there's, well, at least 2 that don't have them. The other ones in the middle do. But you don't have to, you don't want to, you don't have to put them in. I'm gonna go like this, make it thick in the middle, and bring it back out. This one has a little divot right there. This one's got a bigger one right here. And I wipe the clean edge of my brush. I thin down the edges. And then this one is on the inside here. And again, that's where you can take the mop and you can mop that out. I find the moon yellow shows up better than the cad yellow because there's white in that. So this one doesn't show up as much as I would like it to. Knowing where my dimple is, now I can go back with the red and I can come in and bring that back up.
Hey, honey, do you know where your dimple is?
Yes, dear.
I don't know where my dimple is.
You got to make it up. Just make it up. Chisel down, turn it over, chisel down. If anyone at any time needs me to show you something up close, just let me know.
What color did you use to lighten the dimple?
I used cad yellow on the front one because I based it in cad yellow, or yes, I based it in cad yellow. And on these ones, I based the ones in the bowl with moon yellow, so I used moon yellow for the dimple.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Look at that.
Wow, Cindy, that looks great.
Almost ready to eat. Okay. Napa Red. And again, if I'm moving too fast, just tell me to hang on a sec. But I can always go back and do it again and again and
I'm
again.
trying to see what everybody else has.
Yeah, let me do this one. This is going to be Napa Red, and we're going to do the left side and the bottom. And I sized down, by the way. I went down to a 14 or a 12. And I'm not using my big 3/4 inch brush. Again, a side load. And I'm going to go and start at 11 o'clock and bring it over to 5 o'clock. So far, everything we did was 12 to 6. Now I'm shifting it. So 11 o'clock, down the left side. 11 o'clock, bring it down. This one you're going to bring into against the other apples. If you go over the outside edge, clean it off right away. Go back, pick up some more. 11 o'clock. And I say 11 o'clock, that's where the paint is beginning. The paint begins at 11 o'clock.
I thought we started at 4 o'clock.
We did, dear. Or 1 o'clock your time.
Yeah, it started at 1 my time.
Yes, because for those of you who aren't familiar, Melissa is in LA and I'm in New Hampshire. But it's my way of getting around the world without ever leaving home.
Mine too.
There you go. We had someone on here earlier that said hello who was from Italy.
Really? That's awesome. Is she not here anymore?
No, she couldn't stay, but yeah.
How nice.
Okay, I'm going to go around this one. And I'm going to wipe off my dimple because I got the red in there.
Is everyone else here local to the East Coast, or curious if we have any more West Coasters?
I think they're from all over.
I just really like to paint.
Okay.
All painting, no talking.
All painting, no talking. Well, you could unmute them and then they could all talk.
All right.
Look at that. I am amazing myself. Okay, let's see. What shall we do next? Do we have oyster beige? If you don't have oyster beige, you can take a khaki tan and mix it with the light buttermilk and you can get this oyster beige color.
Cindy, I think Pam's leaving.
Pam.
Let's unmute her so she can, okay, there. Are you leaving, Pam?
Yes, I have to go, but I'm behind.
Well, hold on, honey. Show us what you've done so far.
Well, I made a mistake.
Don't worry.
It's okay. Don't worry. Look
Oh,
at the apples. That's beautiful.
I made a mistake over here.
Nope. Yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine.
I painted it in the wrong place.
That's okay. No worries.
Yeah, so I'm painting it over with buttermilk.
Yeah, that's no worries because you can make it darker. It's not a big deal. But
Okay.
the apples look really great. Okay.
Yes.
I'll see you Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, take care, honey. Bye-bye.
I think,
Oh, Melissa, you're showing me yours.
yeah, where I fixed my table,
Pretty.
or, where I had gone all the way across.
Yep.
Just
It
the
looks
outside.
great.
It'll be okay. And then my apples, I just have given them the wash.
Yep. You're
So
doing a great job. Keep it up.
soft. And then I played around with the table a little bit because my table was orange before. But so I'm behind too. I'm kind of stopping there So I'm just, that's why I was getting bored and wanted to see everybody's because I wasn't painting. So I'm anxious to see what you do next, Cindy.
Okay, I'm going to take the oyster beige and I'm going to quickly just put on the linen.
There you go. Okay, now I can see you. Very nice.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. So what did you say about the oyster beige?
This is, if you don't have it, mix a little bit of the khaki tan or a neutral color with the light buttermilk to lighten it up. I'm going to go under my apple.
Buttermilk, light buttermilk.
Light buttermilk, and
Antique white.
you don't want antique white because that's, I think, too yellow. You want a neutral color.
Mm. What did we base coated with? Buttermilk? Or
Light buttermilk.
light? So that would be just going over it again with light buttermilk. If I don't have, wait, hold on. I have more.
Try mixing light buttermilk with some antique white, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
That, or
Desert sand?
desert, you can, yeah, desert sand has yellow in it as well.
Yeah,
You can do it.
I didn't want to do it. Cut pineapple.
No,
White pearl. Ooh.
no pearls.
All right, light buttermilk.
Cindy, what about driftwood?
Excuse me?
Driftwood and add a little white to it.
Yeah, I don't think she has that either, but yeah, that would work.
Well, that's what I got, so that's why I ask.
Oh, you're asking. Yeah, that sounds good.
That's good.
Okay, I'll give it
I've got buttermilk, light buttermilk.
I'm going to try something. I'm going to use a little bit of the olive green, or if you have foliage, or Hauser light green, and I'm going to add it to the inside of my apples where I did the yellow. You can go up one side, you can go up the whole side, I mean both sides, whatever. But I'm going to add a little bit of that just to make it a little bit more green, like my apple in real life. And that was a side load. I have
Excuse me, where did you put that?
I put it right inside the dimple where I had the yellow.
Yep.
Right inside that dimple is where I added that green.
Okay.
I knew you were going to say you put it in your dimple.
And my linen is not a solid color. It's splotchy. You can see it's splotchy and it's okay.
Good. I'm so glad you said that.
Now we can do several different things on this. Do we have a crescent brush or a dome brush? Some kind of brush that does, it's very stiff. You want one that is very stiff. I have dome brushes too, and you want to, they have to be very, very stiff because we're going to do a dry brush. If we took the dry brush and go into our yellow wipe it onto a piece of dry paper towel. Okay, and we can scrub some into an area on our apple. And I mean, I'm not being necessarily that particular as to where I put this highlight. I mean, you want to kind of keep it consistent. And if it's upper quarter, this doesn't really qualify. You see what I'm saying? Because your highlight would be over here if you did the upper right corner. But then what I'm going to do is not wet it. It's still got paint in it. I didn't wet it. Pick up that green, wipe that off, and go on top of that. Give it a little green scrub, because that's kind of what it is. It's scrub. You see that? A little bit anyway. The last thing I'm going to do on that is take my liner brush and some burnt umber, and you can put in your stem. Make sure. Now I'm not going to do this one because we have to paint the bowl just yet. If you want to add a little highlight to your stem, you can use the oyster white, or you can use some of the antique white. Okay. For those of you who are ready to do it, let's do the bowl with our avocado. Base coat the bowl with the avocado, not the lip, just the bowl.
Welcome if you just joined us, and we're watching Cindy paint the still life with apples, and we'd be happy to have you join us.
Yay! We're doing good. I think we're doing good. What do you got going, Melissa? Did you pick back up on what you were doing?
Well, I did do my linen tablecloth.
Awesome. Awesome. Yep. Perfect. Excellent. Do your bowl. Do your bowl.
Okay.
I'm going to base coat my, avocado.
Wow, avocado is way darker than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see now where you're going.
This is before it turns brown.
The outside of the avocado. I was thinking the inside of the avocado. That's why.
So what's next week going to be? Did we decide? We decided.
Oh my goodness, I have to look at my calendar. I will check. because I know we did choose it. Hold on. Yeah, you might have been indulging me on the, so this is what we were really, I really want to do this. One of the earliest episodes we did was a clipboard, and I really enjoyed painting that clipboard, and I gave it as a gift, and I wanted to do another one, and we thought about superheroes, doing superhero characters, which was just something really fun and different. I think to kind of break it up, because we've been doing a lot of canvases and scenery and stuff. So what do you think?
Superheroes.
Heroes on a clipboard.
So if anyone has a grandchild, young adult who helps them with the groceries or mowing the lawn. But yeah, I went and saw that. What did I go see last night?
Saw Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, right. And that was a superhero. So I was asking my daughter to educate me on DC versus Marvel.
Okay.
But see, I like Iron Man. But Iron Man looks like he's DC. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't keep track of it. They're all just characters to me. You know, it's kind of like when the Jetsons were on the Flintstones. It was possible. But anyway, I'm looking forward to doing some something really colorful and bright and fun on a clipboard, because I work in a middle school, so I
Here's,
will myself.
here's a twist on that, though.
Uh-oh.
A superhero does not have to be Iron Man, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
You're thinking of what?
Your superhero could be your mom, your teacher, your, a mentor of some wherever. So you can, yeah. They can get a picture of their superhero in their life, their husband,
Who wants
whatever.
a with your husband on it? I'm
What?
sorry, wherever you are, but maybe one of the two of us together, because we love each other. We're clipped to each other's side. I don't know.
But and dictionary pages of what a hero is, it could be, some of us might, I don't, but someone might have a son who's in the service and that's her hero.
Yeah.
Or a daughter in the service, or a father who was in the service, or whatever. I would gather paper, dictionary pages of the definition of hero, or newspaper articles, Xerox them onto a copy paper, because decoupage of newspaper, not so good. I'm going to blow dry this.
So how many of you think that a bright, colorful, fun superhero is going to be what you pick, or are you going to go with the idea of some kind of person in your life who's a superhero? I mean, either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. So you're going to have to tell us when we unmute you, or type it in the chat.
I'm going to side load underneath my table.
And you and your side. I still haven't gotten that. I'm going to have to do a private lesson just to practice. Side load.
Yep, anyone who wants a private lesson, we can meet in a room just like this one, but one-on-one, and I can help you with whatever you need help with.
Yeah, she has a lot of great advice about other things too, but mostly painting.
Only when I'm asked.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to highlight the top of my table, but that's not going to be good enough. So light buttermilk.
Cindy, did you wash underneath the table with burn umber?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'm going to highlight over here with some light buttermilk away from my shading though. Just to I am going to go to the linen, and you can watch what I'm doing, and then you can go and do it later when it's dry. But I'm taking, ta-da, a fan brush.
Fan brush. I'm a fan of the fan brush.
And I'm going to take some light buttermilk first, load up my light buttermilk on my brush, and I'm going to drag it parallel to this line and then turn it around and go parallel to this line. Now it's going to be a hit or miss. It's not going to be necessarily everywhere, depending on how much pressure you put on it. But do it one direction. And then if you go over the edge, either spit it off or we'll put more paint on it. Okay, and then I'm not going to go all the way up. I mean, I could, but I'm going to have ripples here. So then load it up with some more paint and go parallel with this line over here.
The same color paint, or is that white?
This is light buttermilk.
Okay.
Oops, don't get your apple. Can you see the crisscross?
Oh yeah, very well.
Now I'm going to go and put out some white and do the same thing. I'm not no water in the brush yet. Wipe it off on a piece of damp or dry paper towel, but no water. Loading up that brush. And I'm going to start the same thing. And I'm like this on my canvas. I'm not down like this. So now wash that off. I'm going to get rid of this little area a little bit. Okay. Wash that out. If you want yours to have a little bit more definition in it, you can take your liner brush with some white, and you can actually have some paint on the brush, and you can do some line work. If you put a little water in your, in your paint, make it inconsistency. Draw some lines. Make sure you stay parallel with the edge here. And then parallel with this edge here. You see how that looks more like linen?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to show you how to do an enameled bowl. Do they have enameled bowls in California?
Cindy.
Sorry.
Oh, we only have stoneware. Stoneware.
Yeah, stoneware. Yeah. That's what you cook with, stoneware.
Mhm.
Okay. Water, clean water, hopefully. And you're going to water over your bowl. Make sure it's all water. Then you're going to take your round brush or a liner brush, and I'm going to pick up, I suppose if I had some more light buttermilk. I really don't want to pick up white. White would be too stark. But let's pick up some light buttermilk. And you start to swirl it everywhere
What brush are you using?
around.
Any round? A little round? Or just around? Round?
And you swirl it around and around and around. Good thing is you can go right off the edge because it's the same color as your background. If you go over the apple, if you watered the apple and you go over the apple, you can wipe it right off. If your white is not, or light buttermilk is not diffusing enough, you can spritz it with some water. I have these little bottles here, water spritzers. So you can go like this and spritz it with the water and it will diffuse it. But you don't want too much water because then it will totally get rid of what you got there.
Did you wash yours with water first? Because
Wash it with water first.
oh,
Then you put the light buttermilk on there.
okay.
I'm gonna do some swirls of the olive green too. I think it looks pretty cool. Not that real enamel bowls would have that, but I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to go in and erase the lines down here. Any graphite lines that I have down here that I don't want. You will have to blow dry that.
Oh, shoot. That's not the color I want.
What I want to do quickly is I'm going to redo that with the light buttermilk. The rim, I think to make it black would be too stark. So I'm going to just put some light buttermilk on here, and I have too much water. So I'm going to Take off the water. Put a coat of light buttermilk where my apples may have gone over the edge. What you laughing at?
Apples.
My apples went over the edge.
I don't think they just couldn't handle it anymore. They went over the edge.
They did.
We can fix it and save them.
Blow dry that. And I had so much water that I lost some of my enamel. Now I can go ahead and put in my stem on this one. I'm going to do a side load of burnt umber. Walk that out. And we're going to do a side load against this edge. Walk it in a little bit with your mop brush. You can mop it out. Do one down here next to the apple. On this side, these are the little C strokes. Those C strokes that we did on the apple, same thing, little C strokes. And that will break it up from the background. And that will break it up from the background. If I wanted to, I could do the chisel. Remember, the chisel is the flat edge. The flat edge, not the broad edge. Like when you're using one of those big markers, Sharpie markers or Expo markers here. And I'm going to chisel in some of that burnt umber. At the top of the ridge, where it touches the apples. And I'll do the same. It's still a side load, but it's on a chisel. Do the same on both sides of this one. So can you see that? It's like a line, but not.
He's awesome.
A line on the bottom, a line on the top. I'm going back in with the Napa red. Just once you start getting the other elements on here, then you can evaluate what you have on there. And if you need to darken it, you darken it. You need to lighten it, you lighten it. I want to add a shading of this burnt umber And I'm going to pretend that these ripples come up and down into this valley. I gotta make sure I don't have a lot of burnt umber on my brush. I want it very, very pale. And I'm going to come across and shade that out, mop it, and do the same over here. And I'm trying to do parallel with that top of the shelf line. Does that make sense? So I'm starting in the valley and going turn this around so you can see it. You see? I'm trying to make it as parallel, but I guess I am going more on the angle of it's pointing up toward the bowl. I'll do that on the other side. So this one here rippled up. So it's like I want to do it that way, but oops, I'm over here. Let's see. Okay, I see where I'm going. Chisel this way into that, and chisel this way into that. Mop it out. There's a line here where it comes over. Where it falls over the top of the table. And I'm going to take a very faint burnt umber. And create that edge. So did you see how I did that?
Mm-hmm.
Sharon said she needed side loading lessons also. We should have a lesson just on side loading.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick up some white on a side load, and I'm going to go across the top.
I'm going to turn my camera off for a minute because I got to stand up.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
Do a little stretching.
Walk that down the center a little bit. Let's see how now it turns down.
Oh yeah, look at that.
How it turns down. We want our bowl to sit on the table. So I'm going to take, again, the soft, very soft, mostly diluted with water side load of burnt umber. And I'm going to come around the bottom edge of our bowl. And you want to bring it out beyond the bowl a little bit Take your mop and mop that out. Put it under the apple. Have it come up from behind the apple. That's how you do a shadow. And then this here is actually going to be the shadow from the bowl. And I'm chiseling, I'm going down the side of the apple, but I'm going to chisel it out and then mop it. So I chiseled it out here.
Okay, Cindy.
Yes,
Mhm. Okay, on the front of your tablecloth?
here.
Yes, what color is that?
I did white on the bottom part and I did a very light burnt umber on the top part.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Go in and deepen where you need to and lighten where you need to.
What did you use to lighten the burnt umber with? Was it light buttermilk?
Water.
Oh, you just used the water? Okay.
Yeah, water, water, water. If I were to do this, what would happen? I'm adding streaks of burnt umber. Just to give the linen a little bit more, you see it, give the linen just a little bit more character. This is peeking up, and this is going to have a little bit of linen showing right underneath it. So if this is bouncing up like this, there should be a little bit of linen at the bottom of each of these. And it should be peeking. So you're peeking out. It doesn't go all the way this way though. I gotta work on that one. Goes back this way. I'm just doing a wash of color there. Okay, let's see. What else is left? I don't know. I think that's pretty.
was talking, but I was muted. Are you going to do something with the recipe, hon?
Oh, the recipe, that's what's missing. Okay, where's my recipe? Okay. I'm gonna tear my recipe so that my white paper is not showing. Oh, you know what the other thing I forgot?
What?
My heart.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
When Cindy bites into the apple, it's the shape of a heart.
So you want to do a bite. Well, I'm going to do a heart-shaped bite in my apple. I'm going to use, so I don't have to trace it on there, but I'm going to go and do my bite. And I'm going to take some light buttermilk. And I'm going to dab it. And I'm dabbing it because I don't want a smooth line. I want an irregular line. And then I always wipe the water out of my brush. And I take some of the oyster white because it's a little browner. And I put it against the edge. And without washing my brush up, pick up some burnt umber. And let's go and do the same. You know how the apples turn brown when they hit oxygen? If that's too white for you, go and use the oyster white instead of the light buttermilk. Or you can wait till it's dry and wash over it. The light buttermilk is the one that's got more yellow in it. We can then take our flat brush with a little bit of that red, a very thin, narrow, thin. And go and side load against it. See it?
Mm-hmm. I feel like it should be all white in the middle too.
No, I carved it out with a apple peeler.
I see.
Apple peeler core.
I thought you chomped into it.
No, I carved it out. Ah. Okay. Now I gotta get my decoupage. See where this is going to work. And if it goes over my apples, obviously that's not going to work for me. I always tear off the edges so they're not. Oh, and see the repetition, this little heart?
Mhm.
Ever make hearts out of dots? Okay. If you make little hearts, you can take the wooden end of your brush and you dip one dot, take the wooden end of your brush and go get a new load and dip another dot, pull it towards the center. It makes a heart.
Perfect.
So I would do that with my stylus. Or you can do it with the end of your thing. If I did that, I can go over here and just put one right here. At the bottom, heart, heart, and hearts.
Oh.
Cool, huh?
Trey. Oh my gosh. Totally cute. Oh, were you gonna put a wooden spoon on it?
We could. I didn't.
No, that was if. Well, what's your apple crisp again? Let's see.
My apple crisp right there. So I need to take that and decide where I'm going to put it, if it's going to fit on there. And then I'm going to take my yucky old brush, because you don't want to use a good brush for decoupage. Pour some decoupage out into another container. And then take it and we're going to decoupage this on here.
Now it's. What you doing?
I am decoupaging on my thing.
Okay. I was watching my Snapchat
Uh-huh.
because I posted your pictures and my pictures.
I think I had some glitter in somewhere because I've seen glitter on my piece. Okay.
Lots of glitter.
If you have a card from a hotel room or those funny ones that they send you in the
Oh, so like
Mail.
offers.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
They have an offer. Mm-hmm.
Be careful though, because if you go too hard, you could tear your paper.
Everybody's smiling. Who's on camera right now? I want to take a picture.
I'm smiling.
I can't see you, but I know you're smiling.
So now if there's a difference in colors, just go back with whatever color you think that is. Side load it. And like this heart is a little too bright. So I'm going to go in with, take some burnt umber, mix it with some of the red. And I'm going to make more of that red color here. So I match that so it's not so bright. Let's see. So I am going to okay, so before we go, I want to do this highlight, and I took my brush and I dipped it in some white. I scrubbed it out on my palette, and then I wiped it on my paper towel, and I want to go in here and I want to just put this highlight right to the right of center. And if you wanted, you can scrub that highlight here, make it wide, and then make it narrow, and you're paralleling this line here. So you can have it be wide up here, and as it gets down, have it taper off. So that's gonna be the highlight to this bowl.
That is so cool.
Okay, and you can put a little bit down here. You want to scrub some more in that, you can. You can scrub some over here. I added lines, green lines of avocado. Scrub some highlights in here. And this I'm doing with white. A little bit. So there you go. So you have it here, and you have it here. That look good? That looks good.
Looks very good. Looks like little light reflecting on it.
And I added the side load around the drawers with a little bit of detail. I highlighted some of that with a dry brush.
I should have used a little brush.
And yep, there we go. So thank you, Melissa. Look at that. That's beautiful. Yes.
Fun.
Before we sign off, I would like everyone to, I'm going to spotlight everyone individually to show us where you're at and what you're doing. Deborah, are you ready? I'm going to go. You can just hold it up. You can hold it up, honey. Beautiful.
That's fantastic.
Gorgeous. Yes, and your linen's falling over and everything. That's beautiful. You doing that on a slate?
Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Very nice. Okay, and then we saw, let's see, Melissa's again. Oh, yes. Yes, I love it. I love it. It's got the ripples going and everything.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
It is. Your enamel came out really awesome. Cynthia's next. Oh, beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, I definitely see it. You've got that depth going, and I definitely see it.
Mhm.
Oh, yes, that's awesome. I love the apples and the enamel. I love how the enamel's coming out on everybody's. Let's see, let's go over here. We're gonna do that. Melina, let's spotlight you, honey.
Oh, look.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I love still lives.
Yes,
really
you're
hooked up.
natural. I gotta do that. I gotta do that shading in the back, at the back tape. Oh, you know. Yep, I gotta do that.
I like it. Is that on wood?
Oh, that is beautiful.
Thank you.
Let's see who's next.
California. Woo.
Who is next? Jan Bernier. Beautiful.
On a clipboard?
It's a
Yeah.
clipboard.
I'm gonna do this and chalkboard paint. And maybe put Apple's 5 cents and I can use it to put my patterns on when I paint.
Oh.
Beautiful. Oh my
Thank you.
God, that's gorgeous.
Very good. Very good. They're all wonderful.
Aren't they? And they're all different, but they're all just so beautiful. And we'll post these on the Facebook group. Okay, Ramona, you're on.
Tablecloth looks so realistic.
Oh, look at that. That is gorgeous. Oh my God, that's awesome. Everybody's is so beautiful. I'm so jealous.
Show it again. Smile. Come on.
Oh,
Thank you very much for, gosh, I feel like I'm hacking in my head.
I know. I unmuted you. That's why.
Okay. Thank you very much. I love this class. I truly appreciate all that you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Thank you, everyone. Okay, who didn't I get to? Darren. Okay. Hold on a second. I'm going to spotlight you, and then I will unmute you.
Okay, there we go. I fiddled too much.
No, you didn't. You did a beautiful job.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's a beautiful job, Sharon.
Well, I went from decor painting to oils, and now I'm having real problems going back to the acrylics.
Oh.
You're doing fine, honey. You're spot on. You're doing great. I love it.
I think I'm going to go to the tubes and see if that doesn't help.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I don't think you have a problem. It looks fine to me.
Okay. Good.
So
Good.
you just keep layering, like the two that are the top middle one and the one to the right. You need a couple more layers of red on that, but
Yeah.
you're fine. You're fine, honey. The one in the front looks awesome.
How'd you get that front apple to stick on there? That's a real apple, right?
Yeah. That's what I was gonna. Well, what I used was alizarin crimson pure hue for my apples.
Really good.
And it's really, really red.
So
These classes are just awesome. I'm really loving them. I am.
thank you, Sharon.
Okay.
You're still recording, right, Cindy?
Huh?
You're still recording, right? Oh, good, because these testimonials, having your feedback is just it means so much to me personally, and I know 10 times as much to Cindy. So thank you so much for giving us your feedback.
Love it.
So,
Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
So thank you so much for being here and for joining us for Paint with Heart with Cindy Harrison. She's an amazing art teacher, and I can't wait to get some private lessons from her to kind of get a little bit better in my skills set, but so far so good. So thank you so much, Cindy, for having me, and for everybody for coming today.
thank you, and please post it on Facebook, wherever you are, how much fun you're having, because I'd love the community to grow. As we all know, it's much more fun to paint with our painting friends, our painting pals. And so, yeah, definitely invite whoever you want into the painting group that are painters. If they want to try something new, definitely, I'm here for them. I'm also here for you as a teacher. If you have any questions, you can email me. You can do Facebook me. If you want a private lesson, or if you want a group lesson with your girlfriends or your women's club, we can do lessons in this format with them. So if you're having a good time with this, and I can inspire you and show you and teach you, then I can do it in larger capacities. I'm open to that. So yes, thank you for joining me today for Apple of My Eye, and I hope that I inspired you. As always, remember to paint with heart. Thank you all for joining me.